the backstop?
Prime Minister.
As the right honourable gentleman knows very well, you don't negotiate in public, and we are making substantial progress, and we will get that backstop out.
Order, Prime Minister, please, forgive me interrupting. There is a long way to go. There are a lot of questions to be reached. The questions must be heard, and the responses from the Prime Minister must and will be heard. The Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let us be absolutely clear. This government is going to get a deal from our friends in Brussels, and we will get the backstop out. We will get an agreement. I think this House can approve. The only thing that's standing in our way is the undermining of those negotiations by this surrender bill, which would lead to more dither and delay. We delayed in March, we delayed in April, and now he wants to delay again for absolutely no purpose whatever. What does he intend by this? We are spending, in this government, we're spending £1 billion to put 20,000 more police officers on the streets. He wants to spend £1 billion a month net to keep us in the EU beyond October the 31st, and I will never allow that.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Mr. Speaker, I really fail to see how I can be accused of undermining negotiations, because no negotiations are taking place. He's been Prime Minister for 6 weeks and he promised to get Brexit sorted. In 6 weeks he's presented nothing to change the previous Prime Minister's deal, which he twice voted against. These negotiations that he talks about are a sham. All he's doing is running down the clock. At the weekend, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster said food prices will go up under no deal. Will the Prime Minister publish the Yellowhammer documents so that people can see which
public services, a new plan for our economy and a new beginning for this country? I commend this statement to the House.
John McDonnell.
Mr. Speaker, can I welcome the Chancellor to his new job, although after that I'm beginning to miss the old one. I believe that the Chancellor may be the first person to hold that role whose father, like my own, was a bus driver. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to welcome him to his new job. I also hope what they say is true, that you wait ages for one son of a bus driver to become Chancellor of the Exchequer, only to be followed soon after by another. Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that's probably the end of what the Chancellor and I have in common. Let me thank the Chancellor for abiding by the convention of providing me with a copy of his statement. It was a compendium of meaningless platitudes. So could I ask him? Could I ask him to take a message back to the person who obviously drafted the statement? So if he could tell Mr. Cummings, the man who cancels the Chancellor's own speeches, sacks his staff without telling him, and then has them and
Act like a Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I believe the honourable member for Uxbridge is shouting at me. Last time he was shouting at someone, they had to call the police. So I don't think we need to go as far as that. And Mr. Cummings, who had the member of staff escorted, you might need to call the police.
Order. Calm must descend on the chamber, and people should try to operate at the level of events and in all parts of the House at the level of their important responsibilities as members.
Involuntarily, for most of the years I've been here. Most, not all, because I went to campaign for him in his by-election, I think, of 1984. I've no wish to hear from him voluntarily. Let me go on. Thirdly, and in conclusion, let me end where I began, as the independent member for North East Bedfordshire. I don't complain at the removal of the whip. Voting on an issue of confidence, I accept the rules. But to my colleagues here, just think of how this looks. This morning, the Conservative Party...
7 years' service to this House, of which I have been proud and honoured beyond words to be a member. I'm truly very sad that it should end in this way, and it is my most fervent hope that this House will rediscover the spirit of compromise, humility and understanding that will enable us finally to push ahead with the vital work in the interests of the whole country that has inevitably had to be so sadly neglected whilst we have devoted so much time to wrestling with Brexit. I urge the House to support this bill.
Mr Stephen Giffins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can I congratulate the member for Brecon and Mid-Radnorshire for...
Jeff Smith. His name appears earlier in the alphabet. And Nick Smith. Mr Stuart Andrew and Mr Ian Stewart.
Okay, yeah.
Order! Order!
The ayes to the right, 65. The noes to the left, 495.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. The ayes to the right, 65. The noes to the left, 495. The noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock! We now come to Amendment 6. Stephen Kinnock to move formally.
Formally, sir.
Formally. The question is, Amendment 6 be made? As many of that opinion say aye. Aye! The contrary, no. Division, clear the lobbies. The question is that Clause 3 stand part of the bill. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The question is Clause 4 stand part of the bill. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The question is that Clause 5 stand part of the bill. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The question is that the schedule be the schedule to the bill. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order, order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What the Prime Minister has put to us is clearly a poisoned chalice. He is like the schoolroom clown who thinks that he can offer something to us, dancing around, blabbering from the dispatch box, but we know who he is. He is a man who has been twice sacked for lying. He clearly is a person that we cannot trust, and we therefore...
Order. The honourable gentleman is referring to parts of a member's career. I don't think he's making any allegation on I sincerely hope he isn't about... if you'll let me finish. I hope he isn't making any allegation about the conduct of a member in this chamber, and he isn't, and therefore he is not out of order. But he's not out of order. I know the rules, and I know how to interpret them. I don't require any guidance from anybody on that matter. I'm very clear about that. But what I would say to the honourable gentleman is there is much to be said for moderation in the use of parliamentary language, and as somebody who likes the honourable gentleman, I would urge him to be a little more courteous. Lloyd Russell Moyle.
I will correct myself and say he was allegedly sacked for lying twice, and the public...
The question is that there shall be an early parliamentary general election. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. Aye. Division! Clear the lobby.